Hi there, lights. I'm Erie. Welcome. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Erie on the bright side. I never knew falling apart would introduce me to myself. 5 years ago, if you had told me I'd become a physical therapist and then end up here talking to you about mindfulness, I would have laughed. I would have never taken you seriously. Honestly, this channel exists because my life completely unraveled, and that unraveling changed everything. I'm a doctor of physical therapy in the US, trained in orthopedic specialty care. I was diagnosed with ADHD in my 30s, and over the last 8 years, mindfulness slowly became the thing that helped me rebuild my life. So, on this channel, we're going to talk about just that: how to slow down in a world that feels obsessed with speeding up. To explain why I care so much about this, I have to tell you how I got here in the first place. The reason I became a physical therapist is not what you would expect. I actually started college as an engineering major. Then I met someone who changed my life. His name was Chris Biggs. He was an Army veteran who had been severely wounded in Iraq at age 23. Years later, he chose to have his leg amputated because he wanted his life back. A physical therapist helped advocate for him and his overall function. It helped him reclaim movement, independence, and joy. I volunteered alongside him, helping wounded veterans reclaim movement through obstacle course races. And watching him be so positive despite what he had been through was incredibly motivating. Everyone around him was always in awe and empowered. I want to help people feel that hopefulness again, feel empowered. So I switched majors from engineering to kinesiology. And for the first time, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I had always been a high achiever. So when PT school started crushing me, it made no sense at all. I was failing practicals, I was retaking exams, I was barely keeping up. And I even remember telling my friend Kiana, it feels like I'm being crushed slowly. And then COVID hit. My program director suggested that I get screened. So I did, and the results were abnormal. I decided to take a leave of absence. I got the formal testing done, and honestly, that wasn't even the hardest part because when I came home, my life collapsed. My relationship ended. The person I thought I'd marry wasn't my person. I felt ashamed. I felt like a failure. For a moment, I even felt regret for switching majors. My career felt so uncertain. My future felt so uncertain. And somehow that became the beginning. I found out that I have ADHD with reading processing challenges. Suddenly, everything made sense. It wasn't that I was lazy. It wasn't that I wasn't smart enough. My brain just processes differently, and I was no longer able to mask it. Weirdly enough, that diagnosis gave me lots of compassion for myself, something I had never really understood in my self taught mindfulness practice up to that point. See, my mindfulness started well before that. I had been training myself. I still remember the exact moment when I was still an undergrad. I was at my favorite Gold's Gym, walking on a treadmill to warm up, miserable, honestly hating life. And I literally just Googled how to be happier. That's it. I just Googled how to be happier. And somehow that landed me on a page about mantras. So I went into the bathroom mirror and I told myself, I am beautiful. And no, I did not suddenly believe it, but it felt different, hopeful, like maybe change was possible. That became meditation for me. That became mindfulness. That grew into so much more. And that ultimately became healing. That was just the beginning. In the PT program that I was in, I had the incredible opportunity to be part of something called Healer Track, which ended up being one of the most important parts of my entire education. It was a 3-year small group program focused on mindfulness, meditation, reflection, and learning how to care for ourselves as healthcare providers. I didn't fully realize how much I needed that because while I was learning how to treat other people's pain, I was also quietly learning how to sit with my own. This is where I began to practice slowing down. I learned how to notice my thoughts instead of immediately believing them, how to become more compassionate with my patients, but also with myself. Mindfulness stopped being something that I did, and it started honestly becoming a part of who I am. For me, mindfulness became the practice of coming home to myself. I began to meditate more formally. I began to journal and process and help shed the layers of myself that I was outgrowing. That was really the beginning of deepening my mindfulness practice. That spending time alone with myself instead of allowing myself to wander into another distraction ship. In the beginning, I thought mindfulness meant only formal meditation, like sitting cross legged on a cushion, trying not to think. And if you have ADHD, you know exactly how offensive that sounds. But over time, I've learned mindfulness is so much bigger than that. It became learning how to notice what was happening inside of me without immediately trying to fix it, fight it, numb it, or run from it. It taught me how to pause, how to listen, how to stop abandoning myself. It helped me understand my nervous system, my body, my thoughts, my patterns, my pain. It helped me realize so much of my suffering wasn't coming from life itself. It was coming from how tightly I was gripping my life. Mindfulness didn't magically remove my struggles. Definitely not. I still have ADHD. I still get overwhelmed. I still move way too fast sometimes. And I still forget to breathe. Now I know how to combat. And honestly, that's what mindfulness is to me. It's not perfection, it's not necessarily Zen, but it's knowing how to return to myself. So, this channel exists because of that journey, because I know what it feels like when your life just doesn't make sense. I also know what it feels like to slowly rebuild with mindfulness. So if you're here, welcome. We're going to calm the hell down together. And maybe along the way, you'll get introduced to yourself too. So in my next video, I'm going to show you 3 really simple things you can start doing that take almost no time at all, but can genuinely make your life feel a little lighter, calmer, and brighter. Because healing doesn't always happen through huge life changes. Sometimes it starts with these tiny moments of awareness, repeated consistently. That is why it's considered a practice. If this sounds like your kind of space, subscribe. Go ahead, smash, hit, be present on that subscribe button, and then tell me in the comments what brought you here. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you in future videos. Bye.
It's eerie on the bright side.
Nope. The most start doing that take almost. Tell me what has brought, and tell me in the comments, and tell me, and leave a comment